So my first question was, what made you decide to do this? I read a little bit, but I'd like to hear from you. What made you decide to hop in your car and drive 22 hours with a 2-year-old?
Exactly. Well, and also, just if people don't know your story, will you introduce yourself and tell us what you did?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Andrew Mitchell.
I'm Isaiah Pinnock.
All right. And I'm the master plumber here.
I'm the apprentice.
Mm-hmm. And what really made me get in the car and drive was really his energy right here. I called him and I said, what do you think about going to Texas? He said, we could leave tonight. And I'm like, okay, well, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like we feed off of each other's energy. When he brought the idea to me, he presented it like, these people, they're devastated. They're without water. And here I am with all the skills. He's been spending the last 15 years of his life perfecting his craft, kind of getting plumbing, under control. And he just, made a huge accomplishment getting his license. So he was like, who would I be to be here with all this skill when people are down in Texas without water? So, it was very, very moving. And, I was like, it doesn't matter how difficult it is. As long as I'm there with you and we're doing it together, it's nothing that we can't handle.
And getting the license was a very, very big thing. Like it took me some time of cutting the world off and cutting everybody off and just focusing in on studying for this test. And then I finally got the test and I passed it. And the first thing that I wanted to do, I said, I want to give back to the community. And I just was trying to find a way. Like, what will be the best way for me to give back to the community? And then I heard the calling for any master plumbers to come to Texas and they could help with the relief. And I'm like, let's do it.
So
you've been training for this, like you were waiting for this opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah. And do you think if you hadn't been surrounded by, I'm sure your wife had to support you and, you guys are feeding off each other. So you're like, okay, we can do this together.
Yes. I mean, absolutely. Everybody's been putting 110% in.
Yeah.
And
I roll my sleeves up, he rolls his sleeves up a little higher. And then we just get right to it.
Awesome. And you have a 2-year-old, right? You brought your 2-year-old down the first time?
He loves working.
Oh.
I help daddy.
Oh,
he's in the apprentice program too, right?
Yeah. So you were just doing what your heart kind of felt called to do. You had support around doing it. Were you surprised at the kind of the feedback and the response that people have shown for you about what you were doing?
Yes, I was very surprised. I was not expecting to get none of this publicity and none of this. I just was expecting to come down here, maybe probably a couple, 8 people able to get water in their house.
Yeah.
But then that number just started spiraling. And then the energy that Isaiah gave me, it was like, look, bro, we don't have to sleep tonight. We can keep going. And we just kept going, not getting into the house till 10 in the morning.
Wow. All right. So you're really feeding off each other's energy to do all-nighters and do the work.
I mean, I'll be talking to him. I'll be like, Isaiah, what's next? He'll be like, well, we got to go do the lady house that we're doing for free. And then and I'm like, he's asleep.
Just drifting in and out.
You're just dreaming about plumbing, probably.
How long did you guys stay? Because I heard you were in Texas. You went back and dropped off your son, and now you're back in Texas again. So,
yes,
we were here for about a week and a half. With us constantly out on the road, a lot of the babysitting was left up to Keisha and my sister who lives down here. So after a while, the terrible twos could wear on you. So we had to pass it off to the grandparents. We got 2 faithful sets of those. So they're gonna play.
They're gonna love it. They're gonna love having time.
Right. A lot of bonding time.
And with them opening up their arms and letting us be able to stay in their house is been phenomenal as to what we was able to accomplish. Without them, we probably wouldn't have been able to even come down here.
Yeah. Well, your kindness inspired other people and they opened up their house and were able to be part of letting you do your work, which is so awesome.
And since we was able to drop my son off, we've came up with this phenomenal plan that will like just.
We actually just you know, as you guys could imagine, since the national coverage and you know the global coverage even, we've been getting a tremendous amount of donations and just support from around the globe. So you know, to kind of you know concentrate those into where it's needed, you know, the relief effort in Texas, we actually just launched a nonprofit organization to kind of help get the resources and the help to where it needs to be. And so we're trying to you know pool all of the people, the plumbers that have contacted us saying that they would love to, you know, lend a hand in this struggle, as well as some of the supply houses that would like to, you know, lend out some of their supplies to help get this problem under wraps. And we really want to take it, you know, even a step further and get these people braced for the next winter storm so that you know, it might not be as bad, and, you know, spread the word for, you know, simple preventative measures, how you could, you know, not have to deal with, you know, thousands of dollars of water damage and property damage.
Right. What would you tell people just as far as like some basic advice, like know how to turn off your water, right? Like what would be your advice for people?
Yeah, so I would definitely say the $1 billion tip right there is to just know where your water shutoff is. We actually had one customer who had to, like when the pipes burst, the ceiling in the garage came down and he had to evacuate his tenants. And then he had to fly all the way from Alabama before he was able to shut off the water. Oh, wow. So you could only imagine the amount of water damage that collected in his house. It's just horrific. Yeah. Carpets had to be removed, couches, drywall, picture frames from the windows, just horrific. Right. So, I mean, that's definitely a big one. But other than that, in terms of bracing for a winter storm, what we've been encountering is like a lot of people have been insulating their pipes with newspaper, which is, you know, a valiant effort, but, you know, laughable, to be quite frank.
Right.
Yeah. You know, the real preventative measure would be to shut off your water, drain the lines so that there's no water in the lines to expand and burst the pipes. And then you are more like better prepared for like the storm.
I see you being a YouTube star soon, like doing some demo videos, like this is what you do. And I'm really, because I think a lot of people don't know how to do that.
Well, really, you need to see the YouTube video my wife put together. She has crazy editing.
That's awesome. Well, it sort of feels like you've been at the right place at the right time.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Your ability to inspire. I know. I'm getting chills just hearing this story.
Oh. Well, Linda and I are really passionate about kindness, but also reminding people to tap into their own superpower. Like your superpower was to help people, you know, in this plumbing space. What advice would you give people as far as how we all can be more aware of our impact, whatever it might be, but just like how we can make this world better with our own kind acts? So what advice would you give people based on your experience?
Well, I would definitely say, like, I've always lived by the motto, a rising tide lifts all boats. So, you know, we all win together, and that's really the best way to go about it. So, you know, we don't really look at it as like a handout, but like a hand up. And, you know, with that being said, you know, it really makes the world a better place. And like, there's no bigger driving force in what we do rather than to just get everybody back on level playing wheels. You know, it's 2021 in America and people are without water for 2 weeks and facing, you know, straight up hopelessness because, you know, they're looking at about 2 to 3 weeks until they're able to get relief. So just being able to come down here and be the extra hand, because, you know, I give props to all of the plumbing companies that are down here doing as best as they can, but to just be able to come down here and get the relief into like those, you know, neighborhoods that are kind of falling to the wayside where people are on like smaller incomes, fixed income and stuff like that. It really, you know, the smallest gesture really means the world.
Good.
Some other plumbers will come down there after hearing your story. Have you said that you're kind of open?
Yeah, so we actually, we're going to be, so with the nonprofit kind of taking off tonight, actually, where we plan to have everything rolling and we have some people coming in by Saturday. We plan to really like expand our reach. We've been trying, you know, that's kind of been like the $1 billion question for us. It's like, how can we reach more people? We've been kind of rolling out different like methods. You know, we've been trying to consult people over the phone if they have smaller issues that we could kind of coach them through. If they have a handyman or a handywoman at home that knows how to work a simple tool bag or anything like that, we've been kind of just utilizing people and meeting them where they're at to kind of get them the relief that they need, dropping off materials as needed and stuff like that, focusing on people without water, getting them back online. But then even beyond that, kind of just, so like, yeah, starting Saturday, we're going to go from servicing like 10 to 15 houses a day to like 20 to 30 to,
Wow.
you know, the sky's the limit. Our next, you know, milestone is going to be our 100 home, you know, mark. And then the 200, the 300, the 400, and then Texas. We really want to take it to the moon and back. We want to get everybody prepped, not only back online, but prepped for the next one.
Right.
Oh my
Very
gosh.
forward thinking. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
And Linda, we have our.
Yeah.
We're so excited. We love plumbers.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking time to talk with us about the kindness that you're sharing in the world and how much you've inspired so many people just by your decision to do that. So
yes,
you know, it's truly a blessing to be a blessing, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And if people want to know more about your nonprofit, what is that?
So the nonprofit is called Pinnock Mitchell's Texas Relief Foundation.
Okay.
And, you know, if you guys would like to donate, you guys can make contributions to our website.
Okay.
And all of the funds are going to be, you know, concentrated on getting the relief to people in those, you know, low income areas and
that can't afford plumbing.
That can't afford.
Good. Well, we'll put the link down with our video too, so people can contribute. But thank you so much for being so amazing and just having such a huge ripple effect of kindness. So thank you.
Totally.
Thank you.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for being here.